Good morning everyone. This is our presentation of Group 3 and we will discussing the post-colonial land legislation. Before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Cherry Ann D. Bukog. So let's start our presentation. Human Development Network 2005 Philippine Development Report citing Makapato Abaton Muslim, the Moro armed struggle in the Philippines. The Philippines is no stranger to this situation. For decades, it has experienced conflicts in many forms in the names of religion and political differences. Armed communists, insurgents, and Islamic secessionist groups continue to pose a challenge to peace, stability, and the long-term development of the country. This is particularly evident in the case of Mindanao. Sa una nga sinaunang Pilipino, nagdahom sila na ay peace of agreement. Open conflict in the Mindanao has prevented socio-economic gapos, programs from achieving their goals and instead exacted heavy social and economic costs of affected communities. In fact, there are regions in Mindanao that belong to that group of regions of all the country with the highest incidence of poverty. Kasagaran kay mga indigenous people nga makita nato karon og dili lang sila ang maapektuhan kay makaingon tag nganong ang Mindanao ang pinakadaghang pobre diri sa atong country. Maybe tungod sa kadaghang tao nga daghang kinahanglan. The Moro armed struggle in the Philippines. The root cause of the Moro conflict is associated in a long history of resistance by the Bangsamoro people against foreign rule, including the American annexation of the Philippines government has persisted ever since. During administration of the Philippines, nga si Ferdinand Marcos Sr. kay open gyud tanan ang mga away og diri pod nabuo nga naay politika sa pagitan sa ato ang gobyerno sa una og sa mga grupong rebelding Moro Muslim. So that's all. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, my name is Shin Ben Masias. We will discuss the Treaty of Paris of 1898. This is the peace treaty between the US and Spain that ceded the Philippines to the US for $20 million. Spanish commissioners argued that Manila had surrendered after the armistice and therefore the Philippines could not be demanded as a war conquest. But they eventually yielded because they had no other choice, and the US ultimately paid Spain $20 million for possession of the Philippines. The island of Puerto Rico and Guam were also placed under American control, and Spain relinquished its claim to Cuba. The treaty was signed on December 10, 1898. Nagpulong sa Paris ang mga komisyoner mula sa Estados Unidos at Espanya upang gumawa ng isang kasunduan. Ang pangunahing salungatan ay may kinalaman sa sitwasyon ng Pilipinas. Nagtalo ang mga komisyoner ng Espanya na sumuko ang Manila pagkatapos ng armistice. Ngunit kalaunan ay nagbunga sila dahil wala silang ibang pagpipilian. At sa huli ay binayaran ng US ang Espanya ng $20 milyong.
Good day everyone, especially to you sir. I am John Warren Julagon and today I am going to report all about the government colonization program led to the migration to Mindanao of Filipinos from the northern and the central regions of the Philippines prior to the Second World War under post-colonial land legislation. Post-colonial land legislation. The government colonization program led to the migration to Mindanao of Filipinos from the northern and the central regions of the Philippines prior to the Second World War. In order to reduce rural unrest, post-independence governments persisted in enticing the poor, landless people of Luzon and the Visayas to relocate to Mindanao. Up until the 1960s, thousands of settlers arrived every week, and rivalry for land caused by the conflict between Moro and majority Filipino concepts of land tenure and ownership fueled social tension. The government began pacification campaigns against rebellious Moro leaders because it perceived this as evidence of the Moros' violent nature. However, the Moros believed they were exercising their rights to self-determination as a formally independent people under sultanates. Elites from both the native and the settler populations built their own private armies, which heightened the conflict in Mindanao. The migrants in the province of Cotabato, who were primarily from Iloilo in the Visayas, organized a private army known as the Ilaga, in other term of Bisayan for rat. Members of the Moro elite organized their own heavily armed groups, and it's called the Black Shirts in Cotabato, and the Barracudas in Lanao, which responded in kind to the terror of the Ilaga attacks on Muslim people. By the late 1960s, Muslims made up around 25% of Mindanao's population, down from nearly 75% before the turn of the century as a result of the flood of immigration. The most profitable agricultural fields had been taken over by the settlers cultivating rice, corn, and coconuts, or by multinational corporations cultivating rubbers, bananas, and pineapples. Rich loggers seized vast concessions and began clearing the island's forests. Although Mindanao made significant financial contribution to the country, it did not provide much in the way of social services and public infrastructure, particularly in the Muslim districts. As soon as their commanders lost the ability to mediate, Moro resistance developed into a full-fledged uprising. And that's all. Thank you.
My name is Resmark Muñoz Respondo. I will discuss my topic. This refers to the killing of members of a special military force who were being trained in guerrilla tactics in preparation for Operation Merdeka, or a secret plan to invade Sabah. The current armed conflict started in late 1960s when a Muslim armed group, or Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF, started to advocate for a Moro homeland. The Philippine government responded through military means, resulting in numerous deaths among and displacement of the civilian population, or Muslims as well as Christians. In the 1970s, the Philippine government initiated peace talks and obtained a peace agreement with the main Muslim armed opposition group, or MNLF, to stop the conflict and address the problems. But armed confrontations broke out every now and then between the Philippine military and the MNLF, and also with another Muslim armed opposition group, or Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF. For every breakout of armed hostilities, thousands the Muslims resented the loss of their lands including those idle, but which form part of their traditional community. This resentment grew as Muslims witnessed the usurpation by Christian settlers of vast tracts of prime lands. This ignited disputes between them.
See Presidential Decree number 1618, implementing the organization of the Sangguniang Pampuog and Lupong Tagapagpaganap ng Puog in Region 9 and Region 12 and other purposes. February 14, 1977, Presidential Decree number 1092, as amended, was promulgated calling for a referendum plebiscite on April 17, 1997, in the 13 provinces of Southern Philippines. February 15, 1977, the Batasang Bayan passed Resolution number 11 recommending the promulgation of decree attached to such resolution, providing for the functions, power, and composition of the Sangguniang Pampuog Regional Assembly and other purposes. March 25, 1977, Proclamation number 1628 was issued declaring anatomy in Southern Philippines. Included in the aforementioned referendum plebiscite as question number 10 was the proposal of the Batasang Bayan in its resolution number 11 to create a Sangguniang Pampuog and Lupong Tagapagpaganap ng Puog Regional Executive Council. In the Philippines regions are administrative divisions that serve primarily to organize the provinces. Currently, the Archipelagic Republic of the Philippines is divided into 17 regions, 16 administrative and 1 autonomous. Most national government offices provide services through the regional branches instead of having direct provincial office. These regional offices are usually, but not always, in the city designated as the regional center.
Good day everyone, my name is Crystal Claire C. Caminadi and I will be discussing to you the Human Development Network. Ang Human Development Network or HDN is usa ka non-stock, non-profit nga organisasyon nga ang ilang misyon mao ang pagsabwag ug pag-mainstream sa konsepto sa malungtarong kalambuan sa tawo pinaagi sa research ug advocacy. The HDN is a group of development practitioners who first got together in 1992 through the initiative of Professor Solita Colas Munsud, past HDN president, and the previous resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, Kevin McGrath. Nagtagbo ang grupo sa sunod-sunod nga mga session sa brainstorming aron hisgutan kung giunsa ang labing maayo nga paggamit sa mga dagkong nahibal-an ug mga konklusyon sa Human Development Report sa kahimtang sa Pilipinas. Gikan sa dili formal nga grupo niadtong 1992, ang HDN nahimong rehistradong organisasyon niadtong 1997. There are now about 134 HDN members from national government agencies, international organizations, non-governmental organizations, and research institutions. In terms of discipline and background, ang grupo is composed of political scientists, sociologists, ug espesyalista sa administrasyong publiko, edukasyon ug sosyal nga trabaho. The UNDP has been providing financial and technical assistance to the HDN for the preparation of the Philippine Human Development Reports and advocacy activities since 1994. So, ang Philippine Institute for Development Studies is naghatag kini og advokasya og administratibong suporta.
Republic Act number 6734. Good morning everyone, I am Anjane D. Natingor and for today we will be tackling about what is it inside the Republic Act number 6734. This is all about an act providing for an organic act for the autonomous region in the Muslim Mindanao. The purpose of this organic law is to establish a political entity, provide for its basic structure of government in recognition of the justness and legitimacy of the cause of the Bangsamoro people and the aspirations of Muslim Filipinos and all indigenous cultural communities in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao to secure their identity and posterity, allowing for meaningful self-governance within the framework of the Constitution and the national sovereignty, as well as territorial integrity of the Republic of the Philippines. The executive function and authority shall be exercised by the cabinet, which shall be headed by a chief minister. The powers of Bangsamoro government shall be vested in the Parliament, which shall exercise those powers and functions expressly granted to it in this organic law, and those necessary for or incidental to the proper governance and development of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. The Chief Minister shall be elected by a majority vote of all the members of the Parliament. The constituent units of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region are the provinces, cities, municipalities, barangays, and geographical areas within its territorial jurisdiction. Next is all inland waters such as lakes, rivers, river systems, and streams within its territorial jurisdiction shall form part of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region inland waters. The preservation and management of the inland waters shall be under the Bangsamoro government as provided for Section 22, Article 13 of this organic law. So that's it about the Republic Act number 6734. This is an act providing for an organic act for the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. So now let's proceed to the next discussion.
Good morning, sir. I'm Vincent James B. Galimba, and this is my report. Republic Act number 9054. An act to strengthen and expand the Organic Act for the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 6734, entitled An Act providing for the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, as amended, be it enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the Philippines in Congress assembled. Preamble. The people of the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, imploring the aid of Almighty God in order to develop a just and human society and establish a regional autonomous government that is truly reflective of their ideas and aspirations within the framework of the Constitution and national sovereignty, as well as the territorial integrity of the Republic of the Philippines, and to secure to themselves and their posterity the blessings of autonomy, democracy, peace, justice, and equality, do ordain and promulgate this organic act through the Congress of the Philippines. Article 1. Name and Purpose. Section 1. The name of the autonomous region shall be the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao unless provided otherwise by the Regional Assembly. The Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao shall be governed by the regional government. Article 2. The Autonomous Region Area and Seat of Government. Section 1. Expanded Autonomous Region. The Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, which under the provisions of Republic Act number 6734, the Organic Act of the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, is composed of the 4 provinces of Lanao del Sur, Maguindanao, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, is hereby expanded to exclude the provinces of cities enumerated under which vote favorably to be included in the expanded area of the autonomous region and for other purposes. In a previous site called the purpose in accordance with Sec 18 Article X of the Constitution. The new area of autonomy shall then be determined by the provinces and cities that will vote choose to join the said autonomy. It is understood that Congress may by law which shall be consistent with the Constitution and in accordance with the provisions of Republic Act No. 7160, the Local Government of Code of 1991, which the clusters of contiguous Muslims dominated municipalities voting in favor of autonomy be merged and constituted into a new provinces which shall become part of the new autonomous region.
Good morning everyone. So my name is Justin L. Villanueva and my topic is all about the Human Development Networks. So now we will discuss about the Human Development Network. So what is Human Development Network? Human Development Network is a foundation of INCO or HDN is a non-stock or non-profit organization who choose mission to propagate the mainstream the concept of a sustainable human development throughout research and advocacy. So in this report is contented, part 1 is a report of a household and part 2 is analyze the progress. So the Human Development Network issues is this issue, the Philippine Human Development Report explores a new perspective on the advancement of living standard one that not only documents achieve human development outcomes but also requires into the processes that allows people and families to improve their condition throughout the time and sustain a such improvement across generation. So it views it will first change not only throughout the usual dichotomy or a for none and none for, but throughout the frame of the recognize the increasing social and economic differentiation of families and individuals in the country. So the part 1 is the report that shows that the Filipinos households have been moving without the different welfare strategies over the time and across the generation. Therefore, the public policies must be taken into account the differentiated capacities and needs of household and individuals in the entire process of upward social mobility. Then part 2 is to analyze the progress of the human development of the different provinces in the country, including Metro Manila in the 1979 to 2015 period. While some progress during the period has been noted that there is no clear upward path for all provinces, rather there is a high variety of provincial performance over the period covered. So what is Abu Sayyaf Group? Abu Sayyaf Group, or known as ESG, is an Islamic separatist organization in the Philippines founded by Abdul Jarak Abu Bakar Janjalani in 1991. Heavily influenced by the AI of Aquenda in its early stage, the ESG started as a splinter group of Moro National Liberation Front (MNLF) and seek to the independent Muslim state in the southern Philippines. In the early 20s, the ESG attracted attention through the high-profile bombing, assassination, kidnapping, and attacks. The ESG renewed that its campaign is to establish an Islamic State on June 2017 when it gained control of parts of Marawi and the city of southern Philippines. It is regarded as the most dangerous militant group in the Philippines.
Good day everyone, my name is Julia Taizor, and today I am going to discuss the Indigenous Peoples' Right Act of 1997. Indigenous Peoples' Right Act of 1997, or the Republic Act number 8371 of 1997, an act to recognize, protect, and promote the rights of indigenous cultural communities, indigenous peoples, creating a National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, establishing implementing mechanisms, appropriating funds, therefore, and for other purposes. So, what is Indigenous Peoples' Right Act of 1997? It is a Philippine law that recognizes and promotes the rights of indigenous cultural communities and indigenous peoples in the Philippines.
Good day everyone, my name is Denzel Masa and this is my report. GR number 183591 on July 23, 2008, the province of North Cotabato and Vice Governor Emmanuel Piñol filed a petition, docket as Government Republic number 183591, for mandamus and prohibition with prayer for the issuance of writ of preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order. Another one is GR number 183752. This initial petition was followed by another one, docket as Government Republic number 183752, also for mandamus and prohibition filed by the City of Zamboanga, Mayor Celso Lobregat, Representative Isabel Climaco, and Representative Erico Basilio Fabian, who likewise to pray for similar injunctive reliefs. Petitioners herein moreover pray that the City of Zamboanga be excluded from the Bangsamoro homeland and or Bangsamoro judicial entity, and in the alternative that the MOA AD o ginatawag na to of Memorandum of Agreement of Ancestral Domain be declared null and void. GR number 183893. Meanwhile, the City of Iligan filed a petition for the injunction and or declaratory relief, docket as Government Republic number 183893, praying that the respondents be enjoined from signing the MOA or Memorandum of Agreement of Ancestral Domain, or if the same had already been signed, from the implementing the same, and that the MOA AD had be declared unconstitutional. Petitioner herein additionally plead Executive Secretary Eduardo Ermita as respondent.
Year number 183951. The province of Zamboanga del Norte, Governor Yolando Yebes, Vice Governor Francis Alvis, Representative Cecilia Halosos Carion, Representative Cesar Halosos, and the members of Sangguniang Panalawigan of Zamboanga del Norte, filed on August 15, 2008, a petition for certiorari, mandamus, and prohibition, docket as Government Republic number 183951. Then pray inter alia that the MOA ad be declared null and void and without operative effect, and that the respondents be enjoined from executing the Memorandum of Agreement of Ancestral Domain.
So hi, I am Jeffrey D. Montañez. So next, we will discuss Sulaiman M. Santos Jr. So this is Sulaiman M. Santos Jr. So Sulaiman M. Santos Jr. is presently a judge of the Regional Trial Court or RTC of Naga City, Camarines Sur, Bicol Region, Philippines. As a judge since 2010, he has excelled in alternative dispute resolution or mediating the compromise settlement of the court cases. He is a long-time human rights and IHL lawyer, legislative consultant, and legal scholar, peace advocate, researcher, and writer. He is a member of the new editorial board of the International Review of the Red Cross. So kanay si Sulaiman M. Santos Jr. was the pioneering peace advocate observer in the successful peace negotiation between the government of the Republic of the Philippines or GRP and the Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF of 1992 to 1996, representing the independent peace advocates at the Third Jakarta Talks in 1995. As then coordinator of the Philippine campaign to ban landmines or PCBL. He was the NGO representative in the Philippines government delegation to the Ottawa Conference in October 3 to 5, 1996, which launched the Ottawa process resulting in the landmark in 1997. Ottawa Treaty banning anti-personnel mines. He was among the pioneers in 1997 of the global work of the engaging non-state actors or rebel groups in a landmine ban in 2006, of the global south work of the contractivity engaging non-state armed groups beyond the landmines issue.
Good day everyone, I am John Alfred Churica. So my topic for today is the Mindanao conflict in search of peace and human rights. So the army conflict in Mindanao reflects the recurring call for the fulfillment of the right to self-determination of the Muslim population in the Philippines in order to obtain sustainable peace.
So we all know gikan pa sa una hangtod karon nga ang Mindanao is naay lugar sa Mindanao nga sige gira. So ang government o katong mga victims sa atong lugar nga sige raghandom sa katong sa peace talk in order para ma-peaceful lang community. Pero because sa armed conflict lisod jud siya buhaton kay wala man pud goy magpaubos sa duha ka team para makamit ng peace talk. With almost 40 years of on and off fighting between Muslims armed opposition groups and the Philippine military forces and the resulting high toll of human lives, the search for sustainable peace and full respect for human rights remains a big challenge. So sa almost 40 years na pakigira sa mga Muslim armed and Philippine Army forces, big challenge sila nga i-sustain ang peace and full respect sa human right. Is it because ang duha ka time is magamit jud sila og arm in order to protect themselves og i-implement ilang gusto. The current armed conflict started in 1960s when a Muslim armed group, Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF, started to advocate for a Moro homeland. The Philippine government responded through military means resulting in numerous deaths among and displacement of the civilian population, Muslims as well as Christians. In the 1970s, the Philippine government initiated peace talk and obtained peace agreement with the main Muslims armed opposition group or MILF to stop the conflict and address the problems. So sa 1970s is gibuhat sa Philippines in order to stop the unsa sa gira between the Muslims and Muslim army and the government army forces is naghimo sila og peace agreement sa mga Muslims in order to stop the conflict in the two teams. But armed confrontation broke out every now and then between the Philippine military and the MNLF and also with another Muslim armed oppositions group, Moro Islamic Liberation Front or MILF. For every breakout of armed hostilities,
thousands of non-combats are caught in the crossfire and suffer displacement and other human right violations. So sa ikapila ka beses gipatuman sa government ngayo sa government ang peace talk sa rebelde is ni isa wala joy ni sugot. Is it because dili lang sila. Tapos sa every gera sa mga Philippine Armed Forces o sa mga rebelde is naadyoy mga civilians na mga damay and maigo ang human rights violations. To emphasize their deep sense of independence as a people, many Muslims in Mindanao collectivity called themselves Moro, the word used by the colonial Spanish government to refer to the Muslim people. This extends to the use of the word Bangsamoro, Moro nation, to indicate a people separate from the rest of the Philippine population.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, classmates. I'm Roselyn Itolie, and I'm going to report about human rights and peace agreements. The agreements between the Philippine government and the MILF consider the human rights dimension of the issues at hand. Some say the MOA Act ignored human rights due to the unlimited power given to the BGE. According to the post by Action for Economic Reforms, Mindanao Peace, there is no truth to the hysterics that the unsigned government of the Republic of the Philippines, or GRP, Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, Memorandum of Agreement on Ancestral Domain, or MOA Act, is bereft of respect for civil and human rights, and that is proposed Bangsamoro juridical entity, or BGE, shall possess and exercise absolute powers without any of civilized limitations in the Bill of Rights. One has just to look mainly at the terms of reference, or TOR, at the start of the MOA Act. As one author pointed out, 14 the terms of reference, or TOR, for the discussion of the MOA Act. The general framework of agreement of intent between the GPR or GRP and the MILF, dated 27 August 1998. The agreement on the general framework for the resumption of peace talks between the GRP and the MILF, AGFRPT, dated 24 of March, year of 2001, and the Tripoli Agreement on Peace between the GRP and the MILF, TAP, dated 22 June, year of 2001, all refer to the United Nations Charter. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights and mention the principles of justice, freedom, and respect for the identity and culture of the Moro people. The TOR also includes the ILO Convention number 169 in correlation to the UN, or United Nations Declaration of Rights of the Indigenous Peoples. Even the Philippine Supreme Court referred to the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples in discussing the appropriateness of the MOA Act provision on the right of the Moros to a homeland. The seventh paragraph therein states as a TOR. This is in the AGFRPT of March 24, year of 2001, there is Article 7, which states the parties commit themselves to negotiate with sincerity and mutual trust, justice, and freedom, and respect for the identity, culture, and aspirations of all peoples of Mindanao. While Article 4 states the parties commit to honor, respect, and implement all past agreements and other supplementary agreements signed by them. Details of implementation shall be discussed by the panels. We quoted Article 4 because of the sense it gives about the whole process. The nation of non-derogation of prior agreements is reiterated in the MOA Act, Part on Governance, Paragraph 7. Frameworks agreements are usually detailed through implementing guidelines. And that's all. Thank you.